Good evening, folks. I'm here with potential presidential candidate Jeb Bush of the Grand Old Party. First off, Jeb, can I ask you a few questions?
Sure thing.
To start things off, how are you preparing for the upcoming presidential election?
One thing, and it's FIFA and lots of it. I want the Hispanic vote, so I've been playing my soccer ball. And the thing is, Bob, that competition is the heart of capitalism, and us at the Republican Party support a reform tax code that promotes small business and other taxes should be flat rates.
Interesting. Since we're on the topic of issues, what is your stance on popular social issues?
Well, the Republican Party believes in defending traditional marriages, as we feel they're instrumental in transmitting cultural values and rearing children. Also, we wish to save Medicare, but modernize it and put it in secure financial footing. Don't forget to repeal Obamacare.
Very traditional. Well, how are you reaching out to the voters?
Well, our party just announced our national convention will be held in Cleveland. Gotta get the swing states. Also on our website, you can buy George H.W.'s socks to support financially, and a camo GOP hat will help us campaign and get our candidates elected.
Supporters like camo.
Dadgummit, they love camo! Made 10 grand last week from those hats. Also, if you want, you can fill out a survey about Hillary Clinton on our website. Don't tell anyone, but I heard she's with ISIS.
Great answer. Now, personal health is a big part of a campaign. How do you plan on staying in shape for the good old run?
Well, as I was talking before, I've been playing lots of FIFA, so I've been getting my hand strength, my tendular muscles really strong. So I plan on picking up some soccer ball as well. But yeah, my diet of Kentucky Fried Chicken and liberal souls has been keeping me really in shape. Because you know they ain't got no souls. So,
Jeb, what struggles do you see the GOP having to overcome in the upcoming election?
well, the libs will be brainwashing everyone as usual. So the GOP will have to make sure we can overcome that. Other than that, we should probably try to run someone other than a white male, like that'll ever happen.
Well, tell us how the GOP is organized.
We have 400 paid staff members to keep the national committee running between elections. Along with that, we have the state committee, such as the Republican Party of Virginia, which helps us reach out to more voters. They organize caucuses for the senators and representatives from their state. They also organize the local affiliations and have a place to get involved in basically each Virginia county.
Yeah. Will you go in more depth into your party's platform?
Sure thing. Well, it's organized with sweet little titles like We the People and American Exceptionalism, which surely gets people excited to vote Republican. But unfortunately, we will need a new national committee chairman since Bob McDonnell will be in federal prison.
Unfortunate. Well, who are some people the Republican Party is thinking to run?
Mi amigo Ted Cruz might be running. He's the senator of Mexico. Hopefully, we could get our Russia friend, Sarah Palin, to run to appeal to the feminists. I think Mitch McConnell would be a good candidate, too.
For your time, Mr. Jeb Bush. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you for having me on your TV show. Hook 'em horns and go Rangers. In case you didn't know, someone in my family is a partial owner of the Rangers. Crack is whack, and so is Hillary Clinton. Vote for Jeb Bush 2016.
Check out the new Moist Towelette. Step 1, get it wet. Step 2, clean the stain. Good as new. Shalom, and welcome to our debate between Americans for Prosperity and Americans for Disparity. You can now begin with your opening statement.
Well, here at Americans for Prosperity, our mission is to educate the public, the citizens of America, about economic policy by mobilizing them as advocates of lower taxes and limited government.
At Americans for Disparity, our mission statement.
Sorry, we're going to have to move on to the next question. What are your views about healthcare reform?
Well, here at Americans for Prosperity, we see the issues with this new Obamacare system. There are many horror stories my constituents continue to tell me about how their doctors are changing, they can't get their drugs, and other things like that. All right.
Next, we will go to Americans for Disparity for their view on healthcare reform.
The healthcare reform Obamacare is very...
Sorry, Americans for Prosperity has something they would like to add.
Well, as being from Americans for Prosperity, I absolutely know what Americans for Disparity is about, because it's clearly the opposite of prosperity, because according to Webster Dictionary, that is the truth. So, just to make it clear to the American public and all those faithful people who are listening to our debate, I will tell a personal story about Americans and how they're just not happy with Obamacare. All right? So, I, being a middle-aged man, have many health problems, and when I went to the doctor a few weeks ago, I went in, I checked in as usual, that side's okay, not much change. And then, they give you your number and you go sit in the room and wait for your doctor. And, I was just playing on my phone, what everybody does when they're waiting for the doctor. And in comes this guy I've never seen before. I mean, he's a lot darker in complexion than my old doctor. And just, I'd never seen him before. What happened to Mr. Brown? I saw him just a few days ago. He took his daughter Brooklyn to my son Jameis's party, and we had a great talk about how everything was going. So instead, I'm stuck with Mr. Patel, who can't even speak the English language. How am I supposed to tell him about how my hemorrhoids have acted up recently? And, that's just...
No, Obamacare is completely amazing.
Sorry, we're going to have to move on to our next question, which is, what are your views on the estate tax?
Oh, you mean the death tax? Thank you. This is the problem with America, is people don't understand the true essence of issues. They butter it up like an estate tax. What's an estate tax? It sounds like you're taxing an estate, but you're not. You're taxing when your great-grandfather dies of, some type of disease that I don't want to think about, and then they're just going to tax everything he's worth. This is just the government saying, thank you for being part of our country, I'm going to take your money.
Over the past year, Americans for Prosperity lobbied over $6 million for nuclear energy and economic development. What do you have to say about this?
Yes.
And we all know where all this money came from, since you claim to have no affiliation with the Koch brothers, but you were recently in Colorado campaigning for them.
Well, me and Charles Koch, we go back. We went to the same college. We believe in the same thing. But even though they started our party with the initial funds, we don't have any direct affiliation with the Koch brothers, but we'd be open to, at least campaigning, because it's all about the issues. It's not about the people, it's all about the issues. That's what America needs. They don't need these BS accusations from left-wing irrational acts.
I would just like to thank everyone.
Thank you. I'd just like to say thank you to all you listeners, as well as thank you to Stover News Network for covering this, and also thank you to the Koch brothers for really putting the funds together to advance this production here.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Yanni, and if you haven't heard about the recent spike in cocaine, you should have, because they've replaced Cocoa Puff Sugar with cocaine. Woohoo!